Hi, welcome to Night Protest. This is Donald Jeffries coming to you from just outside the swamp infested Washington, D.C. So we do every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. One of my favorite guests is back to ring in the new year. Susan Olson of Brady Bunch fame. She played Cindy on that show. Most of you know that. And she's just wonderful. I love knowing her in the sense that I know her, never having met her, but I think she's just a really cool person, and she's always a great guest. So, Susan, thanks for coming back on the show.
Aw, thank you so much. Yeah, sorry for the tech difficulties, but I have a beta. I guess I'm a beta tester for some kind of an external microphone link, and I don't have an external mic for this phone, so it took a while to figure out.
No, it's part of the
There's a
part of the
lot.
show's charm.
There's a
We've had
lot with
technical.
the new. Well,
What's that?
there's been an upgrade to iPhones. The latest upgrade with the iPhone. It's like now I have to choose what speakers I'm using. I only have the speakers on the phone. It's very strange.
Well, we made it work out anyhow,
But
so
maybe
that's
I'm a
good.
beta tester.
And you already have a
Okay.
question.
Anyway,
When I we see the guitar in the background, and Vince is asking, "Do you play that bass, or is that your son's guitar?"
that's my son's bass. This one here is my bass, but my good bass is in the living room.
So you both play
And
bass guitar.
yes, he was
Wow.
selling this one. This one's named Hamass. This is Ben, and the one in the living room is Hans. It's a limited edition HR Giger Ibanez, so it's got like
Oh,
alien paintings on it.
so you play bass together? How do you play bass together? I've never. That's the mother and son bass team. That's interesting.
Well, we actually don't. I don't think we've ever tried to. He usually plays guitar if I'm playing bass. But I mean, I haven't played bass seriously in a couple of years. In fact, I got to go back to it just because it's stupid not to, and I do like it. I
Well,
love
my
it,
guitar is sitting
and
over in front of me.
so
I haven't played mine in years either, and it's stupid. I need to get back to doing it. That's what I wanted to do when I was young. I wrote a bunch of songs, and I've got recordings of them around here
well, I
somewhere.
yeah, and I used to play both. I've got acoustic guitars, I've got electric guitars, I've got bass guitars, I've got a ukulele, I have a classical guitar.
Hmm.
So
You
I'm
guys know?
set.
Do you know Billy Mooney?
Yeah.
He's quite the musician, boy. He is really something.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh goodness gracious, yes. And we're always crossing paths here and there. But the first time I met him, he made me cry
Really.
because he broke the lock on our playhouse door. Yeah, I
Well,
was 3. He was
well,
at a
well,
wedding
good.
reception in our backyard.
I think you might have mentioned that for. Look, he's just an interesting character. I mean, he's my friend on Facebook, but
Oh, I love him.
he's
I'm
always
sure
posting.
politically we are polar opposites, but
Yeah, I
he's a
think that's the
great
problem.
guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, no, he's very talented, and it's amazing the people he's played with. He played with all the
Oh
biggest names, so
yeah,
he's a real musician. He's not just
yeah. Oh
somebody playing at it.
gosh,
So it's
yes.
very
Yes,
cool.
yes, and he kind of reminds me of Steve Lukather in the way that he's like played with everybody, and
Yeah,
it's because everybody likes him.
yeah. No,
Good
he's
man.
just he's an interesting character, and I just want to see you. Yeah, so you don't because he seems to have parties at his house. You don't get to go to those or anything. Huh?
I no, no, but who doesn't love Barnes and Barnes? I mean, that was a
Right,
great
right.
musical accomplishment.
Yeah, that was what was that? Fish Heads, right? Wasn't it Fish Heads was his big
Yeah,
hit or
Fish
something? Yeah, yeah.
Heads, Cemetery
Was
Girls is my favorite, but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's cool. Well, I don't know why I even thought it. I guess just looking at the guitar because he's always got guitars in the background when he's playing.
yeah. Yeah, well,
so
this is my son's. It's a 3/4 scale neck, and I don't. He keeps telling me to play it. I bought it from him because he was selling it, and I'd seen him play gigs with this guitar, and I just couldn't I couldn't stand
you bought
having
it from
the
Billy
family.
Mummy? You bought a guitar from him?
No. This is my son's. I'm sorry.
Oh,
This
okay,
is my
so
son.
okay,
It
yeah,
is my son's guitar, but I bought it from him
okay.
because I didn't want it to leave the family. It's
Hmm.
Ham-Ass,
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
to be confused with the organization that governs Palestine.
Right, right. Ham ass. Okay, that's it. Pronounces it differently.
Mhm.
That's interesting. So what's new with you? How did you have an exciting what's Hollywood like on New Year's Eve? Was it exciting, or did you just sit home and do nothing?
I would not know. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near Hollywood on New
Mm,
Year's Eve. I rarely do much for New Year's Eve just because there's so many people that are drunker than me on the road, and it's not a great idea.
yeah, no, me too. It's
When
just
you're in your
very boring.
60s, yeah.
We watch the Twilight Zone. I usually watch the Twilight Zone marathon. That's pretty much mostly what I end up doing.
Yeah, well, that works for me. Except
Yeah. No.
I don't have cable.
Oh, you don't.
I'm sure there's a Twilight Zone marathon streaming,
You're like the young kids.
but
The young kids don't have cable either, but you watch like YouTube on
good.
your smart TV? Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And usually if there's anything really that interesting going on, there's a live feed of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't miss it. My sister, who's been staying with me, she does miss it, but I don't. Um,
Yeah,
I get everything I need from streaming.
yeah, I do too. I mean, I do it for the family, but I don't, other than Turner Classic Movies, but I've seen pretty much all those movies that I want to see many times. So it's not like
Yeah.
they're showing things that I haven't seen before typically. So I'm not sure
And
why
I
I.
pay for a couple of premium stations I'll pay for, but regular cable so I can get like network television, nah.
Well, on network television, that's ridiculous. I don't watch any other than sports, but these sports now you can't. There's live streaming so many NFL games now. You can't. They put them on Amazon Prime and Peacock and all this
Yeah,
stuff. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they have any
yeah.
fans at all. But what are you thinking of since we talked last, what do you think of the political climate? How's it, what do you think of Charlie Kirk? I'm kind of obsessed with that. I've been looking into that a lot. What are your thoughts
Think
on the
of
Charlie
what?
Kirk, assassination?
Well, I mean, I was never into him just
No, I
because
wasn't either. I wasn't either.
I have an allergic reaction to religion, even though I
Hmm.
believe in God very much.
Well,
He
that's
just,
good.
he was just a little too Christian for my taste, but I loved what he was doing. I loved that he was engaging with people and,
Hmm.
being a counter voice to the hard left, which
Hmm.
is all college students are getting these days. The fact that we had somebody that was going, hey, you know, you might try using that brain of yours. You might try critical thinking. You might challenge yourself because college was never supposed to tell you what to think. It was supposed to teach you how to think.
Yeah.
And I loved what he was doing. And I loved how, there were several times when, the most blue haired, septum piercing girl would get up to argue with him about something and be completely gracious and
Hmm.
classy and dignified and make you want to hug her or him. It did seem to bridge some gaps. Then you have the other extreme. You have, just happened at Berkeley. There was a Turning Point USA uh, event, and when people are going around equating, um, how do I put it? It's like good morals and Christian values with Nazism. That's a reach, and I'm one of those people that especially in my youth, I hated goody two shoes. I hated my image. you know i I like what's dangerous. I like the dark side.
Hmm.
um and to be called wholesome was just made me want to throw up in my mouth.
Right.
Um, I've had a kid. Now I see the value in family values. I
Mhm.
actually think that the Brady Bunch is very much worth protecting. I am decidedly against a woke Brady Bunch, and I made that very clear to the networks. And I, there are things that are just, there's the golden rule. There's things like being nice to each other. And we seem to be so driven towards protecting the criminal. And I don't know. It really does seem like something's gone kind of backwards. And
Mhm.
I, it's not a good sign.
No, what do you so you and I, I was not interested. I really like when Charlie Kirk was shot. I remember I was just talking to a couple of people in the family, and no, but I mean, I didn't know much of him. I just knew he went to the colleges and talked about it. I wasn't a big fan or anything, but it picked up a lot of steam and it's gotten so much coverage. And now this Candace Owens, especially, has been. I mean, this Erica Kirk. I mean, Tammy Faye Baker was kind of tame in comparison. I've never seen anything like this woman. Have you been watching the way her story is unfolding? I mean, she said she didn't date for 5 years, and they had all this video of her dating, and she didn't drink, and she's drinking on reality shows and dates. Like, how do you lie like that when it's all caught on tape? You were on a reality show. Have you seen her? I mean, she's quite the character.
Well, um, I think she's not well. I mean, like seriously not well, like intervention not well. Um, I kind of got tipped off about her quite a few years ago. I can't even remember how many. But as you know, I'm involved in animal issues.
Mhm.
And a lot of my friends are animal rights activists. I am not. I am an animal welfare advocate. It's much more mild. I do eat meat. I believe in ethical meat. I don't believe in factory farming. Um, I mean, I'm kind of like a common sense, practical advocate for animals. And yes, animal rights and animal welfare, it's kind of like Catholics and Protestants. They should be on the same side, but they're not.
Mhm.
However, like all my friends, they're vegans and we're fine with each other. Now, my friends went to protest a furrier in like Beverly Hills, and I'm not into that. Um, but anyway, they were there, and Candace Owens was inside the store. Now, the unusual thing about my friends, my animal rights friends, is that they're actually conservative, which is pretty unusual for people who are rooting for animals.
Mhm.
And she came out of this fur store wearing a fur hat. My friend videotaped her. And she's going, I'm so snuggly warm in my fur hat, and you're all cold, and neener, 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 neener,
This
neener.
is
I mean, just,
Erica did this?
this is
Wow.
Candace. Candace.
Oh, Candace.
And
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
yeah, Candace is not well. Um, Erica's just religious.
Yeah, well, she's switched. She's changed a lot. She used to be far left a long time ago. Yeah, yeah,
I, yeah, my BS meter kind of does funny things with her.
yeah.
Um, but so here's Candace taunting my friends, and little did she know, she just figured they were a bunch of PETA people. Little did she know they were all conservatives, and
Mhm,
they all used to be fans of hers.
mhm,
Not after that day.
mhm,
So it's just like, wow, it was more the way she was so childish about it.
mhm.
Um, and so that just kind of gave me a bit of an attitude about her. And then it seemed like right after that, she started getting more strange and more inconsistent. And I don't know where she's at. I can't. Okay. Um, I don't watch her show. The whole Macron thing. All it takes is a DNA test
Yeah. Well, that's why they need to.
to
But I
prove
mean,
it.
yeah, get it done because I mean, I got to tell you, I
Yeah.
that whole story doesn't make any sense, but it doesn't look much like a woman to me. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I mean, to me, it's very odd that what is she, 20 some years older than him to be, or it's the whole
Oh,
story is
yes. Now
ridiculous.
that to me, that's the issue.
I mean, what
And
you're a
yeah, she
world,
sits
you're
like a
president of a
man.
country and you marry your former teacher that's 20 some years old. What the hell? Doesn't even make any sense. I mean, I can
No,
understand maybe
and
fantasy about it, but I mean, that's crazy. You see, Vince, who you have met before, Vince Agnelli says, "Say
yes.
hello to Susan for me, please." And we
Oh.
have my brother-in-law, Clinton Mesley, saying, "Thanks for the birthday message, Susan." So message.
Aw,
So that was good.
that's
We tried
sweet.
to call you live,
You
Clint,
got a
but,
party.
we tried to, but, that's okay. You got a message now, so you can save that and play it to all your friends, and,
Yeah.
say, "This is grown up Cindy Brady leaving me a message," and they'll say, "Oh,
It's
okay, sure
probably
enough."
better down the message.
Yeah, that's cool.
Message
So,
last.
yeah.
But no, I think Candace is very strange. Tucker Carlson, look at what a turncoat he is. I mean, what the heck
Again, I
happened with
think
him? He went to Qatar and came back an Islamist. And it's not
well,
like he
you
needs the money.
well, you and I, I love you, but, you and I think, kinda disagree on that, but, I mean, but
Me
that's all
too.
cool 'cause we can civilly disagree,
That's
but I
that's
mean,
the one area. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
don't
a counter jihadist and
well
always have been.
I don't know what to think of, as somebody who's in the alt media and would love to see my, you know, self grow. You know how hard it is to grow. I mean, it's really hard to get to organically get a bigger audience, and so I'm always, even this
Oh
kid
yeah.
Nick Shirley, I was writing about him on Substack today. Nick Shirley just filmed the Somalian daycare centers. I mean, I like what he did, and I think it's ridiculous he's being attacked, but still, I wonder how did that get 116 million views? And he's got like 2 million followers or something at 23 years old. I don't know. And same thing with Nick Fuentes. I
Well,
look at somebody like that he got as a teenager, he got a gift of $250,000 in Bitcoin from some guy who was killing himself in France that didn't even know him. And he said, "What? What?
yeah, yeah. These things don't add up. But there are so many things that just don't add up because they just don't add up. That there's no conspiracy, there's no plan. But what I hate to see about Nick Shirley, and I knew, I like straight away, it's like, oh, this kid's going to have all kinds of threats
Mhm.
against him.
Yep.
Um, but I also didn't like to see him get more credit than he deserved.
Yeah,
I
well, he's
mean,
getting all
it's
the
not
credit.
like
Yeah.
he broke the story.
Yeah. Well, that's
There
what
are
most people think he
already
did. Yeah.
90 convictions, I think, or 90
Mhm.
arrests and 60 convictions or something. So I mean, he didn't break the story.
Yeah, no, but then that's what it
And
seems to be. So, but the base of the alt media has come down now to Candace Owens has gotten really huge. She may have the number one show in the world now, I think. And Tucker Carlson is bigger than ever after leaving Fox News. So you got Candace and Tucker Carlson.
really,
Them
Tucker's
whole
still big? I thought he took a nosedive after
no, he
becoming
gets a bigger
jihadi.
audience on X than he does on Fox. He gets like it routinely gets like 1 million people. He's
Well, yeah,
doing
I
quite
knew
well.
he was, but I thought everybody felt like he deserted them.
Well, he's got a different audience, I guess now. He's absorbing
I
people that used to be really radical that are coming to him and they're okay, well maybe this guy's legit, although nobody trusts him because nobody trusts any of these people.
Well,
Any of them that I
especially when
trust.
you flip. I mean,
You know,
I totally understand changing your opinion because I do that. I do that all the time. I used
right.
to get in so much trouble. The first radio show I had with Ken Ober, and I we'd be arguing about something, and maybe somebody would call in and say, "But Susan, have you thought about blah 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 blah?" And I'm
Mhm,
like, "Oh my gosh, no, I hadn't. Wow, you're right. I'm wrong."
mhm.
And oh, I'd get the stink eye. We'd go to commercial, and Kenny would be ready to strangle me. And it's like, I'm not going to continue to argue my point when somebody has proven me wrong. Why? What's wrong with me learning something and maybe the audience learning something?
Sure. Well,
They just wanted us to bicker.
It's great that, that we have, we can have a real diversity of opinions, which we don't often. Those people like to limit that, and I'm a free speech purist, but I don't like the way the alt media is being limited to a few big names. You have Alex Jones still, who I think is shooting himself in the foot. A lot of bad things have happened there, and he's still there. And you've got now Tucker Carlson's kind of joined that. You got Tim Pool's another guy I don't understand. That guy, you know,
Oh, I
I
like
don't
Tim.
find you like him.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
And
yeah, well,
mostly because my sister can't stand him. Mostly because I watched him from like day one. So I'm
yeah,
really kind of proud that he's grown like he has. But
yeah.
but like I say, it's okay to evolve and grow, but when you completely flip flop on where you stood is where there's a problem. And there's been some times that I've kind of thought that Tim might go the way that's more popular rather than what
Mhm.
he's really arrived at. So I like him, but I don't love him quite as much as I used to.
Yeah, I think he's so you have these kind of warring factions, and they're all a lot of them are, I think a lot of them are jealous of Candace Owens has now kind of topped them all. I mean, she is really huge, so a lot of them are going after her. But I think that I don't know about her, but this Charlie Kirk story is, it's a JFK assassination guy. The ballistics don't add up. This Tyler Robinson guy is, it's absolutely ridiculous. The story is, I mean, at 30 odd six. I mean, I'm not a gun expert, but everybody I talked to said that would have blown somebody's head off. He didn't have a neck of steel that somehow stopped it. And it's ridiculous, like a magic bullet. But and then you throw Erica Kirk in there. I'm watching these. I mean, if I go online, that's all I see now are Erica Kirk videos, and she says something more ridiculous, and there's some new disclosure about her every day. It's like what?
Really,
You
see,
know,
I avoid it.
oh,
I just I something about people going like this.
yeah. Well,
I see cult.
especially when you don't believe it, and I don't think she believes it. If you really don't even really believe it yourself, I mean, when you're going out with pyrotechnics and you're wearing this crazy flashy suit, it's like a WWE thing, and you got all this gold and jewelry
But
around
that's
you.
the way the mega churches are. I mean, to
Yeah,
them, like having pyrotechnics, like to me, it would be, well, no, don't do that. This is a
yeah,
memorial. This is a
exactly.
somber
Yeah,
event. But to them, where they go to church in a stadium and the praise band is, it's like a U2 show. It's
right.
completely commercial,
Yeah,
completely over the top, and they're used to that.
yeah.
I never will be. I look
Mhm.
at that and I go, oh, that's really scary.
Well, unfortunately, that's
But
we
it's
give.
better than a Nazi rally,
Well, oh,
which
yes.
is what they're accused of, and I hate that. Until
Well,
they do
that's
something horrible, the word Nazi is thrown around.
yeah. So what
It's like
everybody
racist.
uses it. The left and the right both use
Yeah,
it for if they don't like you, they call you a Nazi. It's like what? What?
yeah.
The Nazis have not been around for what 80 years now. 80 years, and so I don't quite understand it. We used to have the American Nazi Party that was never even powerful, but I don't even think there is an American Nazi Party anymore. I don't know if there was at one point, but
Not since that march. Where was it?
yes,
It
in
was.
Skokie, Illinois, and that I talk
That's
about that
it.
all the time because
Yes.
at the time I was a card-carrying member of the ADL as a teenager, and I thought that was so great that the guy named Goldberger, obviously no fan of Nazis, was the guy for the ACLU that represented them because he
Yeah.
said like I'm a civil libertarian. I believe hey you got to stand up for the right of people even if you hate them or hate what they're saying,
Yes.
and he did. And they had their little
Yes.
march. Nobody he got a bunch of Jews upset, but I mean, nobody cared. And that kind of faded away. But this was people that were calling themselves Nazis. They were Heil Hitler and everything. They weren't, it wasn't the enemies calling that. They said, no, we're Nazis.
No.
Nobody does
And
that
if they
now.
were called Nazis, they were damn right.
Yeah, exactly.
They
But
were
nobody
proud of
does
it.
now. So for everybody talking
No.
about Nazis, I don't see anybody calling themselves a Nazi, but I hate the term and it's just thrown around everywhere. And it's
Yeah. Yeah, and racist. Everything's racist.
yes, yep. the exact same thing. It's
And then
lost all
there's
meanings. I don't care
racism.
what name anybody calls me. It's ridiculous because those names they're pointless because they're used so often. They've lost all meaning. So like when they called Dr.
Exactly.
Seuss a racist, you remember that? Dr. Seuss was a
Oh
far
no, I mean
leftist.
I am so against that. Um, yeah. Well, and it's like, oh, you can't have Aunt Jemima. You cannot have a black woman on the packaging. Well, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but she wasn't dressed like Mammy anymore. She was
Right.
a successful woman wearing pearls, and so what you're saying is it's really more racist than anything. We just can't have a black person on a package.
Well, isn't that
Uncle
ridiculous? Yeah.
Ben. That's not a derogatory remark. He was an actual chef who won awards for being a great
Sure.
chef.
We all liked Aunt Jemima pancakes. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's just stupid. Vince Agnelli's going out to eat dinner. Thanks for being here, Vince. I guess I'll see you Tuesday. We eat lunch every once a month, every Tuesday with several of us there. So he actually lives in the same state as me. One of the only my only virtual friends that I actually get to meet. But sorry about that. But yeah, I think that this political and you're out there in the middle of political. I don't know what to ask you. What did you think of this Rob Reiner thing? Did you have any ever have any
Um,
contact with him?
no, no, I hadn't. And I wanted to. It's so strange that just a few months before this all happened, um, I I'm a member of a book club, and The Princess Bride was the book, and there's always a book with a movie. So I got the audio book, and much to my horror, it was read by Rob Reiner. I'm like, oh no, not Meathead, because politically, I think he's just
Yes.
beyond stupid and inflammatory and wrong and terrible. Um, and I just started to listen to it, and immediately I was drawn in. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. He's an actor, and he was doing a very good job of reading this book. Then I watched the movie, and there are all kinds of little nuances in it that I hadn't caught many years ago when I first saw it. So that's Rob. That's him as a storyteller. That's great directing. He's so talented. I hate his politics, but he is so talented. And then I saw him. I guess was it Bill Maher? No, it was Pierce. And he was reasonable. And so it was only a few months ago that Cherie Curry and I were doing a gig together, and Cherie was in Spinal Tap, and it's so upsetting
Oh,
to me that they cut her out.
uh-huh.
Yeah, you know how when all the guys have cold sores, one by
Yeah,
one, everybody shows
yeah,
up with herpes.
yeah.
Okay, we all got it from her. She played a female rock and roller who was in their opening band. And the opening
Oh,
band
cool.
was called The Dose.
Uh-huh.
And at first, the guys hated the band, and then they saw her and they loved her. And so they decided to have them tour with them. And one by one, they all got herpes. And so it's like everybody was boinking the lead singer of the band. And she was great. I've seen the lost footage. I think at this point it really is lost. But anyway, it's always bothered me that they cut her out, because I think her career would be really different if she had been left in. And Rob Reiner did say, for the record, one of his regrets is that he cut Cherie's part out. But anyway,
Mhm.
I mean, they had like 400 hours of film. They had to cut it down. But I asked her what it was like to work with him. And she's like me. She's probably more conservative than I am. And she's like, he was the most giving, loving, wonderful director, because I felt like I was in the best of hands with him, that he could guide me better than anybody. So that was great to hear. And then it was like maybe a couple weeks later that this all happened. And my first concern, and Cherie and I did a podcast right after it happened. And my first concern was I didn't want to hear people talk about how he and his wife could have prevented this if they had gotten Nick the right help.
Yeah, right.
It is such a crapshoot. Well, you know, my son.
Yeah.
My son is on the spectrum. He's gone through times where he was violent, and
Mhm.
if I had a dollar for every time people pass judgment on my son's behavior and say, well, if she would just blah, blah, blah,
Sure.
it would be like I was making residuals. It
Yeah.
would be like making money off Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody wants to judge the parents.
Yes.
And it's such an easy thing to do. And we all do it because we want to think that that wouldn't happen to us. Well,
Right.
bullshit. It can
Right.
happen to you.
Yes.
So, yeah. So it's
I agree
like,
with,
I
and
know, I'm
I was
sure.
one of those people that used to judge parents a lot before I became a parent.
Yes.
Realized, well, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. And especially now with, and again, I think you probably agree with me. I think that vaccines caused a lot of this, this shocking
Yes.
explosion of autism,
Absolutely.
which didn't even hardly exist really.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
difficult when you're dealing with that because it's not, it's not, if some people are really blessed, it's just like babies. Some people have babies that sleep through the night. Others cry
Yeah.
constantly,
Yeah.
and yeah, and how do you can't reason with a baby. It's just what they do, and,
No.
so it's luck a lot of the times, and some people are lucky. Their kids, obviously are not on the spectrum, and they're just really well behaved. They wanna listen, but other
Yeah.
kids are naturally rebellious, maybe they don't want to, but this guy had obviously serious problems, but I'm not sure
And
what
he
they
was
could have done.
born with them.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was born with them. I remember, I mean, the first thing I learned about parenthood was the first time I laid eyes on my son, and I was just overwhelmed. He's him already. He
Mhm.
is him. He's not a blank slate. And I
Yeah,
didn't know exactly who he would be. And I do believe that my son being on the spectrum is kind of, it's just made his genius quirkier.
yeah.
It makes life much more difficult for him.
Mm.
And I'm glad I learned to separate the MMR vaccine, but I wish I had known that before he got his first dose. I do think I think it's genetic, but I think that the vaccines and different poisons are triggers,
Definitely,
right?
definitely. There's no
And
question about it.
because
And
that's
you
why we
and
have so much of it now.
yeah, exactly,
And
and it's getting
well, I'm sorry. I'm so angry at these hard lefties who hate Bobby Kennedy
yeah, me
um,
too.
because he's playing with Trump. I mean,
Mhm.
this is like playground attitudes. You're playing with that icky orange kid. Well, now I don't like
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
They're all angry because he got the hepatitis B vaccine off the
Mhm.
schedule for baby's
Yeah.
first day of life.
No, and
Why were they
look at all the
getting
hell
it?
he went through so much hell for that, and that's really just that should have been a no-brainer. Why are you giving a hepatitis B vaccine to an infant? That's crazy. But he finally was able to, but look at all the hell he went through. People still and look at his, and it's awful she died at 35, that Tatiana Schlossberg, his, I guess his, cousin, Caroline's daughter, who just died tragically, of cancer. But
Oh,
she last month she wrote just a scathing piece in the New Yorker that was mostly attacking him. And basically, she kind of
yes. Oh no.
blamed her cancer on him when it was probably her getting all the boosters. That was probably likely.
Yeah. Yeah. His wife, who I really like, I've never met her, but I really like her. She goes on The View. She's a braver gal than I would
Yeah,
be.
yeah, she was. Yeah,
Um, and they're saying he's not even a doctor. And she's like 90 something percent of the people that have held this position have not been
exactly.
doctors. And
Yeah,
wasn't it the left who are trying to stick it to the man and stick it to the corporations? I mean, why are they now um worshiping big pharma? It's
they
so
do.
hypocritical.
Yep,
And
they
there
do.
was always a lot of left in me. There's a whole lot of hippie chick going
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
And I hate to call myself conservative, but that's the
Hmm.
definition say. But I, it is so obviously a grift, and now it's all Trump derangement syndrome. I can understand disliking the guy. There's a lot of times I dislike him. I don't like what he says. I don't like the way he says it a lot of the time. But to me, there's no alternative, unfortunately. And it just this blind hatred that people have. I took Facebook off my phone. I can't even get into Facebook now because it was depressing me,
Hmm.
seeing how many people were just raging over things that they really knew nothing about, that they had no facts about.
Well, I think if Biden would have never done it, but if a Biden or Obama had appointed RFK Jr., we were, I think the same people would have treated him a lot differently. But yeah, it's definitely because of Trump.
Absolutely.
But there's no question about it. And
Totally.
yeah, there's no.
And
But I mean,
nobody's complaining. Nobody's complaining that it was the Biden administration. That, they talk about Nazis. They were the ones that created a mandate.
right,
That mandate violated the Nuremberg Code.
right, right.
Informed consent. I love asking people. They're like, "I got the vaccine and it was good."
My body, my
Did you
choice. Yeah,
read the package insert?
yeah.
Well, did you read the package insert? And I love it when they go, "Yes, I did." I'm like, "No, you
Hmm.
didn't." Because that package insert, if you unfolded the whole thing, it was blank. And that should have been your tip off.
And the whole thing, my
You
body, my
can't have
choice. Is that
informed consent.
yeah? Why don't you get to decide what you want to inject in your body? But that so it's obvious, really, really bad hypocrisy. But Trump really I was disappointed in again how he's lowering himself to such a ridiculous level with some of these tweets he had like with Ron Brown or anything. But
Ugh.
but the one he did about the kid with Tatiana when she died, he attacked the Kennedys, and
Oh
this is
dear,
right
he's
after
done
he.
robotic.
What's that?
I'm sorry. This always happens with you.
What happened?
I'm not understanding you well. It's gone into
Oh,
robot
no.
voice for
Okay,
me.
that's weird. Hold on,
Now,
let me
now
see.
you're sounding good. Okay.
Is anybody else in the chat? Let me
Um,
know if you're having trouble hearing me. Can you hear that now?
you're crystal clear now.
I don't know. I think they
That's
mess with
good.
my connection all the time. But there's a couple shows that I can't go on because when I do, nothing works. And it's the same links. I don't. It doesn't even make any sense. But they're bigger shows too, so it's like trying to purposely screw me over when I'm doing that. But I was going to say that Trump reacted to that Tatiana Schlossberg dying, and he just attacked the Kennedy. He didn't. He could have justifiably said, "This is terrible what happened," but I found the attack on RFK Jr. Uncalled for. But he didn't even mention him, and RFK Jr. didn't respond to that. So I don't know. I'm sure he's probably offended by it too, because his whole family has, they have been attacking him the entire time. They've taken out big articles and papers. We love our cousin or whatever. We love our brother, but we hate what he's doing. And they're trying to make him out to be this monster when
What's
he's
he doing?
yeah, he's trying to do something good.
But
I
they
think
can't tell you anything. They can't tell you anything that he's doing that's bad. They can only say he's not qualified. They
vaccines.
can't say they can't say, well, he stopped that Hep B
Yeah.
vaccine, and now my infant can't shoot up drugs anymore. And what can they say? There's nothing tangible, and for the most part, it's the same thing with the Trump derangement syndrome. But I'm glad I didn't hear what Trump had to say. I was appalled enough that when he responded the way he did to Rob Reiner,
Yeah, that was
I
ridiculous.
I hate when people. Okay, um, a, a gifted artist can say really stupid political stuff. Trump always has to say, and they used to be talented, or has been, or a wash up, or not even talented. Bullshit. They're still talented. They just don't like you.
Yeah.
There's nothing to take away from Robert De Niro's amazing acting talent. Is he an idiot when it comes to politics? Yeah, they all
Mhm.
are pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But he's still a brilliant actor. And that's what I learned with Rob Reiner just shortly before he died. It's like, no, I really like him as an artist.
And Rob Reiner was he was in my world a little bit. He had a series last year, I think, where he had a with Soledad O'Brien of all people about the JFK assassination, and he for a long time
Oh,
thought it was a conspiracy. It didn't fit with the rest of his politics. Uh, I don't think he went
wow.
far enough, but I gave him credit for doing that. And oddly enough, in all the talk about him, they list the things he did and everything. And they never once mentioned that. And I know why they don't mention
Oh,
it. They
that's
never,
a
ever
shame.
mention it.
Yeah.
And I tell the story
Wow. I'd like to
year
see that.
well, they always leave that out. Like years ago when I was a volunteer for Mark Lane's Citizens Committee of Inquiry as a teenager, I was in his office and he got a phone call from Hollywood from Freddie Prinze. And this would have been 1976. Freddie Prinze was the hottest comic in Hollywood. Freddie Prinze, and he told us,
Hmm.
Freddie Prinze was absolutely obsessed with the JFK assassination. He was calling him all the time about it, wanting to do something about it. And Freddie Prinze supposedly killed himself like a month later. And if I hadn't been there in that day, I would have known nothing about his interest in the JFK assassination. They had a movie of the week that came on about his life back when they used to have these lurid movies of the week, and there was no mention of it.
Yes.
And I know for a fact that's at the end of his life, that's what he was obsessed with. But instead, they had him taking all kinds of cocaine and waving a gun around, and typical. Same thing with John Belushi. John Belushi was obsessed with the JFK assassination.
Oh,
It took me a long
yes.
time to hear that. Yeah, the night before he died, he called Dick Gregory, who was really into the assassination, and told him, "Hey, I want to talk to Mark Lane again. I got a lot of information about this." Next day he's dead. So it's weird. But again, the general public doesn't know that, and they never mention it. And I always look for that stuff for what it's. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't. I did not know that about Belushi either. And Belushi, the whole book, what was it, Wired?
Wired, yeah.
Yeah. Bill Murray said he read like 2 pages of it and put it down. He's like, this is
And written
all.
by Bob Woodward, we now know is an ONI, a naval intelligence officer, masquerading as a journalist. And
Mhm.
he got away with it. As somebody who writes these books, I'm very meticulous about sourcing everything. And if I don't have a source for something, I hear about it from people. Hey, what's the source for that? He never had any sources. He had never had any footnotes.
Wow.
Because he had this ridiculous excuse that and he would invent conversations that didn't happen. And he just said, well, I forget how he had a term for it, but very sloppy in my view. He sells a lot more books than
Ugh.
I do. So what do I know? But that's a
Well,
strange thing.
no,
So
no, no, no. Ill-gotten goods.
yeah, and if Rob Reiner hadn't produced that series last year or whatever, again, as much as I know about the JFK assassination, I wouldn't know he had an interest in it. I would have not thought,
Wow.
so again, so my spidey sense already goes, of course, yeah, it looks like the troubled kid killed him, but there's always a part of me that
Yeah.
wonders, well, he did have that JFK miniseries, and he ended up like all these other guys. Sal Mineo is another one. Sal Mineo was stabbed to death, and he was going to play Sirhan Sirhan in Orson Welles' movie that for some reason never got made. Orson Welles worked on it for years, and oddly enough, it never got made. And he was going to be Sirhan Sirhan. He would have made great Sirhan. And he was so all these people,
Wow.
so they all just kind of have something in common. So who knows how many others there are, that we don't know about. But when I hear about some of these people, did you ever meet Randy Quaid? Because I think there's something to his Star Whackers theory. I really do. Where he thinks that
Wait, well,
somehow a
okay,
lot of
now
these.
you're going all
Uh, uh,
mechanical again, and I can't
oh God, why
understand
is
you.
I don't
It's so weird.
anybody
It's
in the
almost
audience
like
having trouble
auto
hearing
tune,
me? Anybody else having
and
trouble
it's
hearing?
not volume. It's like auto tune gone
Yeah,
wacky.
I know.
Yeah.
Tell me somebody in the chat, or is my voice going off and on like automaton or something? Is something wrong with I don't know if it's you or me, but
I'm looking at chat now. See, they're saying all good.
yeah, sounds good here.
Sounds
Yeah, I
good
don't know.
here. Hmm.
Well, maybe it's on your
Well,
connection, but yeah,
it could be on my end because I remember when you and I and my son had
oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
episode, which was really fun. Thank you for that. I couldn't understand a dang thing you guys were saying. I just sat there nodding like a
Yeah,
dashboard ornament.
he
Like,
was great fun.
yeah, right.
Yeah, everybody
Thank
sounds.
you.
Yeah, no, he was good. That was good. How's he doing? How's he doing?
Kind of same old, same old. He's, he's got the main problem right now is agoraphobia. And by the
Mm,
way, he and I have been kind of, with this whole, with the Quality Leering Center and all.
mhm.
Um, there's a semi grift going on. I can't say that he lived in two group homes. Um, when he was going through the toughest stuff. He was able to get out. He didn't have the agoraphobia, but he had anger issues, and now that's so much better. But the anxiety and agoraphobia is terrible. But anyway, of course, I took him out of the last group home because I didn't want him to get a COVID shot. And but um, these group homes are all run by Northern African people, and there's funny stuff going on in those. I'm not going to say it was totally
I can.
corrupt
My
because
niece
they're
has been in
good
a
people and they're
my niece has been in a rehab center for several months, and it's 99% from Africans. It really is. I said I'm getting the experience. I know what it probably would be like to be in an African hospital, and I don't like it. So it doesn't surprise me. There were well, maybe it's like Somalians. I mean, why are all these people running everything? I don't
well,
understand. Is it Americans can't do this anymore?
well, well. It's like why can't you get a doctor with vowels in their name? Um, I At the time I thought, this is a pretty cool deal. You can buy a house, you make it a group home, and you get your house paid for. You hire a few people that know what to do. And I've heard that there are some that are just horrible, that nobody there knows what they're doing. I would say that the two that Mike lived in, they were good people. But like the second one, there are all kinds of people living in the garage, sleeping on the floor from Mogadishu. So why? And they used his social security number to get funds for COVID
So much
after
fun.
he left.
Yeah.
So it's a partial grift because I really liked a lot of the people there. I mean, some of them were just the nicest, sweetest, most caring people. So I can't say it was all a grift, but there was a little, so
Yeah.
this is a good deal. Okay, so
That's true. And,
now
and that
you
that's
get
that system is hard. And so he's has have they I mean, and the usually the only way to deal with this kind of issues, they always have some kind of medication. So I'm assuming they had him on medication, or I don't know if he still is, but that seems to be the answer usually for those kind of issues. Did you not hear? Did
yeah.
you not,
Not really. I couldn't understand you that well, but
yeah, it has to be you
it's
because I've
just an
got like a
excuse to give
bunch of people
medication.
saying I sound fine. So I don't know. I don't know why it's.
Yeah. See, and now you're sounding fine again. Um,
I don't. I don't know. Well, what we can
yeah,
do is if
I used to say that when Mike turned 18, I would get into whistleblowing the Child Protective Services and the
oh
foster home
yeah, they're the worst. Yeah.
situation. Um, yeah, and it's surprising. California, with the kind of leadership that we have, it's actually a lot worse like in the South, where a child in the system, I mean, like I always say, CPS will take a child who's suspected of being abused and put them in a situation where they will definitely be abused.
Yes, yes, yes.
The foster care is very, very, very shady. And in some states, if there's an especially good looking child that goes into the foster
Yeah.
system,
Yep.
or maybe it's a temporary thing, um, they get put up for adoption, like they get streamlined so somebody can collect money off of basically
Yeah,
selling a
they've been
really good
connected a
looking
lot.
kid.
a lot of people think they're connected to trafficking, and there's was it
Oh yeah.
Nancy Schaefer? Nancy Schaefer in Georgia was a huge critic of CPS, and she was murdered. Her and her husband were murdered. They claimed they killed themselves, but they were murdered. There's no
Yeah.
question. And CPS is horrible. I've never heard of a case where CPS was involved where they worked and like restored the family order. It always breaks up the family. Always. They never
Yeah.
come in and like make things better. I've never heard of a case. I've had several of these people on my show that had their kids taken from them.
I haven't either. I just, at the time I knew there was something funky going on with just the services my son was getting as a client of the regional center, and that there was kind of a, a desire to inflate the case, or God forbid, make my son worse so they could provide more services. And then I saw my son's best friend, her mother, was just harassed because you go after the single white mom. It's much easier than going after the house that has a meth lab in the living room.
Yeah.
And I watched her getting harassed. I knew that there's probably something similar for me down the road. And I have a friend who's a former DA, and I was talking to her about it. She's like, "Nah, no, you're smart. You know how to prevent this." And I did. I mean, I got him the services that I thought were helpful for him, but there was such a push to do things that were not helpful. And then this kind of this sense of, oh, but if you disagree with us, perhaps you're not being a great parent. Just this kind of under your skin thing. So I started looking at other people's situations. I was in some chat room, and people in other parts of the country were really, really, really mostly single um, uh, mothers being harassed by these agencies.
It's horrible. They treat them,
So,
and one of
yeah.
the people I've had her on my show probably several times. Is I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. Megan Walsh. She was the daughter of John Walsh of America's Most Wanted. Yeah,
Oh, huh.
she's great. She's right up there with you as a great guest. She's fantastic because
Oh,
she's very outspoken and she has some very interesting things to say about her father and his connections. And Adam Walsh, the child. I mean the child.
yes.
She's got all kinds of stories, and they they took her children away from her. CPS did. So she's been very outspoken about it. So in fact, I need to have her on again. But she's very interesting. You should watch those because she has some great things to say.
Yes.
I
Yes. I'll look her up.
what I do. I don't know if we'll have anybody. If you're interested in it, I'm going to put the link here to the studio. This is my new thing I do, and sometimes we get more people than others. I'm going to put the link in the chat room, and then if people want to come on and talk to you, they have questions or whatever, they can come in audio or video. We'll see if they do. Sometimes we get a lot, and sometimes they ignore it. So people come talk to Susan Olson or me. They're putting the link in there for you. So we'd love to have you come into the studio and see. And you really do look like my sister. It's scary. It really is scary. I don't know. She's a lot older than you, but you look like a younger
I'm
version of
sure
her.
we both would go, you're weird. We
Well,
don't look like
I
each
did show
other.
her a picture of you, and she just I don't know. She's kind of out of it, but um, so hopefully we get some people in it. So love to talk to you guys, and I know Susan would as well. But so I again, I'm friends with lots of these former child stars on, not like you, but I mean, I'm friends on Facebook with them, and some of them respond and some don't. But are you friends with any of these people, like that were on the shows in the '60s and the '70s? Or do you have any?
Yeah.
You said Cherie Curry was with the
I know
Runaways.
quite a
That's
few of them.
hmm
I mean, I used to, I thought it was so funny. People, when I was going through a legal situation, people, how did you find your lawyer? And I said, well, believe it or not, Aaron from the Waltons introduced us.
Oh, Mary
I
McDonough.
mean, I do like, yeah, I do
Oh
know
wow.
people, not real well. Um, but yeah, I mean, our paths cross.
Yeah,
I don't do a lot of.
I've had a few conversations with her. She's very nice. I quoted her in the book on Borrowed Fame, where she's one of the one that told me how little they get paid per episode or something. But
Oh
I tell you,
yeah.
that cast, again, I don't, somehow I get all their stuff. I don't know, but my Facebook page is flooded with constant pictures of the kids. They're, they are so close. They're always traveling together and doing stuff, and I see them all. They do a lot of stuff together. I don't know if you knew that or not. So they remain very
Oh
close, the
God.
Waltons
No.
kids. You're not hearing me.
Wait, Facebook is flooded with pictures of
The Walton kids, the kids that played the actors from the
Waltons.
Waltons. Yes, they're very
Oh,
close. They do
okay,
stuff all
cool.
together.
I used to ride with Judy Norton Taylor,
Yeah,
and I used to
she's
ride
got
at the
a
same stable.
yeah. Karen talks about she has a really interesting YouTube channel where goes over episodes and stuff. She seems really down to earth.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I always liked her. I was just talking about her to a friend of mine. I said, she was always really nice to me. She used to ride in the lesson after mine, where the girls were just a little older and a little more experienced. But
Mhm.
she complimented me on my hands one time. And she's the one that came up to me and said, you know, that horse, that beautiful horse that you were looking at? He's for sale, Susan. He's for sale. Get on it. It's about time you had a horse. I never did get a horse.
I never
But I
did
was a good
that.
rider.
I wanted a horse. I always wanted a horse, but it was so out of reach of, lower middle class people.
That
I
they're
didn't realize
so
it for a long time.
expensive. They're so expensive. And I was, I was very, very serious about riding. And then the variety hour came along and it just kind of ruined everything. I had to stop. And then when I came back, my trainer was kind of like, well, you'd rather do that Hollywood stuff than ride. I don't know. And I just wasn't treated the same. And I I always intended to get back to it, but never could afford it. And then I started writing for an athletic challenge for a TV show called Body Challenge, and I was in my 30s, um, and it was amazing how when you get into your 30s and you have a child and you want to stay alive because you're a single parent, boy, things get really scary. You don't want to do stuff that's dangerous. I was such a
Yeah.
chicken
Look at poor
shit
Christopher
about
Reeve.
riding.
Gosh,
I It's like, jumping a 2-foot fence is about my speed.
Yeah,
And I used
look
to
at
jump a whole course with my arms out.
wow.
Oh well.
Well, look at poor Christopher Reeve. I mean, that was just awful. And then did you
Well, it didn't help that a woman in my second lesson, I was taking private and group, and she had a fall exactly like his, but she was lucky she didn't quite land on her head, but she broke her collarbone,
mm,
and yeah,
his
it's like, ooh, I'm doing something dangerous now. I really shouldn't be doing though. I mean, it was just a thing in the back of my head. Like, what are you doing? You're a mother. You shouldn't be riding horses over fences.
exactly. Well, Marco wants to know, have you ever seen any reptilians? You see the question? Have you ever seen any
See,
reptilians?
seen any? Oh, reptilians.
Yeah, have you seen any reptilians?
Um, no, but like if you notice the way Gavin Newsom crosses his legs, and a lot of
Yeah,
these kind of guys, reptiles have their testicles inside. So I think that's
didn't know
what
that.
allows him to cross his legs that way. So I probably have seen. I just don't know for sure that they're reptilians. But if anybody was, it would be Nevin Gruesome.
Yeah, I can see them as that. Well,
But
a
I
lot of
really
people,
haven't.
a lot of people have claimed they see the royal family members. They seem to be the top reptilians from what I hear, that they can transition or something. I don't know. Who knows? It's an interesting theory. That's where David Icke got his start, I guess. David Icke is very
Well,
big
I've
now.
heard Hillary Clinton smells of sulfur. So that would be more demonic than lizard,
I bet she
if
does.
I could believe it.
I bet she does smell of sulfur. Sulfur has always been associated with supernatural things, the devil
Can't make
and,
out anything you're saying.
you still can't hear me?
Shoot. Wait a minute. There must be a way of having a better connection.
I don't know what to
Wait,
do.
I
Do
think
you have
Kevin
a
lives in school.
are you on your
Kevin likes to talk with his hand.
yeah. Are you on your phone or your computer? Are you on your phone? Are
What?
you on your not hearing anything I'm saying? This is terrible. Why don't you try
God, I
going
wish you could
on your
hear what I'm
phone?
hearing.
Yeah. Could you try your I'll put it in the chat. Hold on. Hold on.
Huh?
I'm typing it in here.
I can't make out a word of what you just said.
You see that in the
Kevin's
chat?
jazz hands.
Yeah.
Kevin's jazz hands. It looks like
Yeah.
the Irish. Ooh. Try link in your phone.
You want to try your phone?
Oh, you mean the link that you gave to the chat
Yeah.
room?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, but that looks like
Okay.
okay. Entering the studio. Well, okay. Okay. Um.
Can you hear me any better without the video? Maybe it's the video. It's not. Okay, folks, she's going to try to switch to her phone. Are you trying it, Susan? Okay. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Let me try. Hold on. Let me try here. Can't. Okay. Okay, Susan's gone. Let's see if she comes. Okay, now she's entering the studio. Let's see.
That didn't.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me, Susan? Susan? Can you hear? This is the wonders of modern technology, folks. Hello, Susan? Raybo says it seems intentional. Not intentional. Well, they got her part either. Just typical. Hello, Susan. Can you hear me? Susan. Susan. Okay, now you're not muted. Can you talk? Susan? Can't hear you. Can the audience hear? I don't think so. Can't hear you, Susan. Can you try talking? I don't think she can hear me. Rainbow, I like your idea of Campbell's soup cans in a long segment of string. That might work. Okay, Susan's gone. I hope we should be back. I guess she's trying it. I'm not sure she's trying her phone. Let me see if she's texted me. Yeah. Well, folks, this is here. Susan enters the studio. Let's try it again. Susan, are you there? And she's, I think she's having trouble with her connection. Susan? There she is. Susan, can you hear me? Can't hear you either. Can't hear you. Robin Lee can hear me. Let me see. Let me try texting her. Sorry, folks. I'm sure we're losing viewers left and right as we speak. But trying to get this set up. Let's try. Are you using? I'm using the kids' text abbreviations too. Hope that didn't seem too ridiculous. Okay, Susan. Okay, there's Susan. Hmm. Okay, I'm texting her, so hold on. Well, hopefully we can get it if you get in this evening. Yeah. Yes, Ray, though Tony is out of the command center. He's not here, so I'm handling this myself, which is probably one of the problems, but we'll see. She said she's still setting up. We'll see if she's going to try to make it back in. Again, we'd love to have some of you guys jump in for video or audio questions. We love talking. See what Susan's talking in the private chat here. Yeah. I think her phone worked worse than the other one. Okay, she's entering the studio. Let's try it again. Susan, are you there? There you are. There you are. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Now I have an echo. Now I have an echo.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you. Now we can. I heard you for a second. Now we can't hear you. Are you there?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, now we
Yes.
hear you. Okay.
And I'm okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm
Yes.
back to doing the same settings that were not working. And
Okay.
now it is. Go figure.
Okay.
Well,
Well, fantastic.
I'll say
That
this
was
much.
entertaining.
It should be fine in the future. I'll use my computer, but yeah, I am using my phone. I think that's the problem, and I think this
Yeah.
room might be a problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems to, but I mean, I've had issues on my end, but I don't think that's it today because everybody is hearing me except for you.
Yeah,
So, well, let's get back to it again.
yeah.
And you guys, they always, I hear so much that people like the idea of having me I'm going to put the link in there again. You guys like having me put the link in there, and then I don't see you. So come on, jump in the studio. We'd
Now
love
it's
to
all
hear
goofy
questions and
again.
everything. Okay. Yes, Karen, we'd love. Karen says you want me to join. Of course. Love to have you, Karen Carpenter. Jump on in. It's not the singer, Karen Carpenter, but she's great anyhow. But what was I going to say? So how did you? So do you know Joan Jett or any of the other Runaways, or just Cherie Currie?
Joan, There was a party of Cherie's that I didn't go to for reasons I can't remember, and Joan showed up. She crashed the party, so I haven't met her. I met uh, Leah, um, and oh fuck, Fuchs. What's her name? The bass player who left, and but that's it. I think. Yeah, yeah. Sandy was gone before I met Cherie. And
She's
then
interesting.
Joan went to my high school.
Joan went to your high school?
Yeah, yeah, she did. And people that knew her used to tell, "Oh, you and Joan should be friends. She always has the same magazines that you have." I'm like, okay,
Mhm,
like Roxine and Cream and a
mhm.
Circus,
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So you were a
which
real rock and roller.
yeah, yeah. Well, I meant to be.
But talk about it. Talk about a
Practice. You got to
different era.
practice.
The Runaways were marketed. I mean, the name the Runaways. They were marketed
Yes,
as jailbait. They were
that's
underage girls.
jailbait.
I mean,
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
mean, I mean, look how much things have changed now. I don't know that couldn't happen, but so many. I talk about this all the time. Where you have, how many songs were about 16-year-old girls?
Well,
16
right. She
candles.
was
You're
just
16.
17.
You're
You know
beautiful.
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
sweet little
Yeah,
16. I mean, it's like
yeah.
that's So what? How? I mean, I think
But you see, it would imply that young girls weren't protected then. But I would say that young girls are exploited far more now. It's just that they don't want to be blatant about it.
yeah, yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, I just find it's so. Oh, it's Rabo says, "No wonder all child stars didn't turn out like Mouseketeer Britney." Britney Spears is where her videos are always interesting. She's playing with knives and stuff. Boy, I don't know.
No, but I think she's got mental issues,
I think so too.
serious mental issues, and she doesn't have good parents. I
God
mean,
knows
she's a
what happened there.
commodity, unfortunately.
I was watching
Uh,
a
Um,
thing on Macaulay Culkin not that long ago. Boy, that was it's amazing he's alive.
well, he had
He
a
really,
horrible father.
yeah,
He's a cool guy. I haven't met him, but I would love to. I think he's very cool and
yeah.
very much an artist and a creative, talented person. But he had a father that saw him as a commodity. And I'm not going to second guess, because I hate judging parents, but
Hmm.
for most of the kids, child stars that went bad, all you have to do is look at their family, look at their parents, and it's completely predictable. We Brady's, we all turned out okay because we all had good parents and we
So
all
what?
had a very healthy experience together.
So you didn't
I
have
think we
any?
kept each other healthy.
Yeah, you didn't really have any stage parents there that were one worse than the other, or anything pushed because that I know on Leave It to Beaver, the story why the character Rusty Stevens that played Larry Mondello, the reason why he left the show supposedly was because his mother was so pushy that the people on the show couldn't take it anymore. I don't know if you heard that or not.
I can see that. No, I never heard that, but I can totally see that so many times. It's the parents that want it. When I teach acting for anybody that doesn't know out there. I teach acting to children, but I teach it in a part of Los Angeles. It's kind of sane.
Mhm.
And for a brief while there, I was teaching in Hollywood, and I did not like it because all the parents were very mercenary. They were very
Oh,
into the
I
careers
bet.
of their children. Yeah, and it took the fun out of it. I'm teaching acting out here so that a child can be more confident in the way they speak. I had a parent come up to me and say, "My daughter ordered at dinner the other night, and she's never done that before, and I think it's because she's taking acting classes." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Yeah." She was able to order. She knew what she wanted. She spoke clearly and great. That's why I'm doing it. It's not so that they can be Macaulay Culkin.
Have,
Of course,
have you had any success stories in your acting classes?
not big success, they'll book a couple of, yeah, I would say 90% of kids, even if they really think they want it, they get a taste of it, and it's not as fun as they thought it would be.
And I think it's very much like,
Unless you land a series.
I think it's very similar to athletics because I mean, I coached youth sports for about 10 years when my kids were little. And, you see so many really talented kids, but none of them ever make it to higher levels. So God only knows how talented the ones, I never came across any. But and I think it's maybe the same way in acting. There's so much competition.
Was a law of averages. Yeah. I mean, and for every adult actor, there's at least 100 waiters that could do the job.
Hmm.
It's a huge amount of competition. And, when people talk to me about, lost childhood, and it's not fair to put children into acting. Um, yeah, okay, there's the fame factor, which I do think can be really poisonous. But otherwise, the kids that are athletes go through far more of a lost childhood. I mean,
Yeah.
try being friends with a child who's an ice skater headed for the
Yeah.
Olympics
Or gymnasts.
every
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Swimmers. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. They,
I How in the world
they
complain
practice at
about my
like 5 in the
privilege?
morning. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It-
I know Ty Babylonia. She was up at the crack of dawn, getting on her skates, getting to the skating rink before she ever went to school, and maybe going back after school.
yeah.
It's crazy. So, I mean, being a child actor is cushy, and you get bleh. If you're on the series, you get a hiatus. You get
Yeah.
time off.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, I don't know why. So obviously some kids turn out fine, but it's just, do you know Paul Peterson? I've interviewed him as well
Yes,
on
I
for
do.
minor consideration. He's done great work. Did he ever talk to you about it? Obviously you had no problem, so maybe he
Yeah,
wasn't,
he used to bug me because he would say things like, you can't be a good parent and have your child in show business, and I completely disagree.
Mhm.
My parents were very good parents, uh, but he's done wonderful work with a minor consideration.
No,
Wonderful work.
he
It's
is.
kind of funny though, because he was on a talk show one time and he said, no parent will turn down a job, and I'm like, my brother was offered your job on the Donna Reed show, and he turned it down. And mom and dad said, "Okay, well,
Really?
there we go." Yeah.
Here's Karen Carpenter. Good to see you, Karen.
Hi,
How you
Hi.
doing?
Hi, Susan. Great to meet you.
Oh, great to meet you, and you sound so clear.
Oh, thank you.
The powers that be are not messing with your voice.
That's great. I'm not sure what you're talking
Uh
about. I
oh.
missed the last 5 minutes or
Oh no, I
so.
spoke too
No, we're
soon.
mostly talking showbiz. Did you watch the Brady Bunch, Karen?
Oh, you better believe I did. Yeah, absolutely. I remember it very well. I was an older sister, so I kind of always related to Marcia, but
Hmm.
because I was the
Hmm.
oldest sister, I wasn't
Yeah.
as cute as Marcia though, or cool or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, I remember it very well. Yes. And I watched the Waltons, and
On today's day, Jen.
I followed Judy Norton's YouTube channel pretty closely. To me, the Waltons always really felt like home. I was always jealous of some of the things that the Brady Bunch had. My dad was a teacher, a single income family, and my dad
Yeah.
was a high school teacher. And, there were a lot of things that we couldn't do. We weren't, but it was a good time, and we had a great life. I'm so grateful for the way that I grew up, and for those were good days.
And the
Me
Brady
too.
Bunch, well, the Waltons too. Well, the Waltons was after the Brady Bunch. One of the last shows I remember that where they did make the father look like an idiot, and the kids
Yes,
respected the parents, right?
Yes,
yes. There was mutual respect. They
Yeah.
both respected each other. Yes,
Well,
that's
absolutely.
you got
And
a compliment, Karen. Look at that. Rain Cry thinks you're better looking than
oh,
Marcia.
thank you. Thank you very much. I was kind of nerdy back in those days, but I want to say also those in those days the rationality with which people dealt with each other. You didn't hear people screaming and yelling, and there was no people had discourse. The families ate together and had discourse, and I so appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They discuss things.
They don't even
Yeah.
really make
I
sitcoms
hate
anymore.
what's happening.
I mean, I think they just kind
Well,
of,
they
if you put,
don't. They're trying their best not to make families anymore.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
That's
really.
true.
So I think that's why people are still like, I've got to try to get a couple of those Walton's kids on the show. I think they could. I don't know. They seem like, who knows?
And
But
I
Yeah,
know
they're good people.
Cami Kotler, I've been following her a little bit, and
yes, yes.
she's been making ornaments. She and her daughter are making ornaments for Christmas ornaments. They did it last year, and she'll autograph them. I think for $25 you get an autographed one, but you can get an ornament for $10, which I thought was just really a cool thing that she did that and was
Yeah.
doing it, I think, out of the goodness of her heart and because people appreciated it so much. So I found it heartwarming.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Those again, that's I think why
Yeah.
people.
Hit Judy up.
Hit Judy. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's pretty accomplished with this YouTube stuff.
yeah, it's really I love the way she does that because she seems down to earth and she's, but the other shows do it. Like if you watch my son and I love Smallville, the series Smallville, which we love that. And Michael Rosenbaum, who played I think the best Lex Luthor ever. I think there's never been a better Lex Luthor. He has a podcast like that where they like go over every episode. So if you're a fan of the show, it's pretty cool because he has people on there, they analyze, and that's
Very
kind of what
interesting.
Judy does, I think, where
Mhm.
she'll have maybe a guest star that was on there, and you remember these things, and it was again, the
Well,
Waltons
Darlene
didn't
Chris
fit
did
the
it.
era either because everything else was so Norman Lear type political stuff, and the Waltons was old fashioned and
Mhm.
about Depression days and Good Night John Boy and Good Night, it's completely different.
Susan, I wanted to. Was it your son that has agoraphobia?
Yes.
When I was in my early 20s, I had panic attacks so just debilitating. And this would have been in the 80s when nobody knew what it was. Oprah hadn't talked
Mhm.
about it yet. And I went to the emergency room a few times thinking I bought the heart attack survival manual.
Yes. Yeah.
When I was in my 22 years old, I'm buying the heart attack survival manual because I had these horrible panic attacks. And there are two things I just wanted to mention. Number one was I am better. I did get better. One of the things I did was I ordered a series of cassette tapes. And I listened to them consciously, so I don't think there's anything nefarious on them, but it was hypnosis for while you were sleeping.
Huh.
And there was a signal that you were to make for yourself. And I still find myself doing this when I get in the dentist chair or something. So that suggestion that I still do it.
That's great.
So it's just an idea, something you might want to look
Yeah.
into.
I definitely will.
And another thing is that I realized, because later on in about 5 years ago, I had my mercury fillings removed and I got heavily, heavily poisoned from that. And I look back at my life and I remember the dentist telling me I didn't get a single filling until I was about 20 years old. And lo and behold, that's about when I started having those panic attacks, was when I got a load of mercury put in my mouth. So you might want to look into that.
Yeah.
It's just
I
a
I
possibility.
think he only has one.
Yeah.
It is. Well, I mean, he thinks it was triggered by a mold infection.
That very well could be. And mold and heavy metal, and I've looked into this more than I ever wanted to. Mold and heavy metal tend to go together. If you're mold toxic, the heavy metals will bother you more, and the metals, if you're metal toxic, the mold, you're more likely to get mold issues.
Oh.
But yeah, mold is
That
very,
makes sense. I
yeah.
I thought he got white. I think he only has one filling, and believe it was ceramic, but it might not be. That's something
I don't think
to
they
look
have. I don't
into.
think they've done mercury fillings for
They
a
are.
while because I
They
know
still
mine.
are.
Oh, they're okay. Because I had a mouth
Yeah.
full of
They
mercury when I
still
was a
are,
kid, and
especially in the
they're all replaced. Yeah.
lower income areas, lower income plans. They
Oh,
still are.
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
yeah. So Dr. Andrew Cutler is, to me, is a safe way to deal with mercury. There is a lot of misinformation, even in the more holistic community, about dealing with metals. To me, Dr. Andrew Cutler is the safe way to go. I'm just putting that out there. I don't
Okay.
like just so.
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw that in.
Andrew Cutler?
Dr. Andrew Cutler, yes.
Okay.
He has a chelation method, but you have to have
Oh,
all
yeah.
but you have to have all the mercury out of your mouth before you do it. And there are a lot of autism moms, parents that actually chelate their kids using Andrew Cutler's method.
Right.
Yes, they do chelate their
And I've
kids,
seen video.
and it's with
I've
Dr. Andrew.
seen, yeah.
And I know a mom, a nurse in Studio City, who's an expert at this also. So if you want to be,
I saw videos of kids that had gotten chelation.
yeah,
Like I've also seen kids who were perfectly fine and then they got their MMR shot and they were completely different.
right.
My son
Yes.
wasn't dramatic like that, but I've also seen some kids that are like that go through chelation and
Mhm.
Yep.
they're back
Right,
to
yeah.
being themselves.
Yeah,
It's scary stuff.
it is. And there was, there's mercury in, well, there was mercury in a lot of vaccines, and then they changed to aluminum, which is also not good.
Right. Right.
So,
No, and it'll get you later. I mean, it's
right.
causing Alzheimer's
Yes.
things.
So I just wanted to make a couple suggestions there. And Don knows me. Don and I are in touch. So if there's anything I can help you with, let me know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, I
Yeah,
might want to reach out to the nurse in Studio City.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't get my son out of the woods yet.
Karen's
He
very
won't go
helpful. She's
anywhere.
she's turned into quite the podcaster herself now. So it's very good. But
Aw.
you want to promote your podcast, Karen?
Well, I'm on Nights of the Storm Saturday mornings on Rumble and X at 11 Pacific and 2
Dumbo.
Central. And I am going to start my own podcast. I actually ordered a new, Billy Ray Valentine helped me order a new microphone.
Oh.
So because this is a very cheap one, very cheap microphone. So when my new microphone
Sounds
arrives, I'm planning on launching a podcast, and I don't know the format yet. I probably do a variety of things, informational and also more conversational, and maybe even take some music requests sometimes, because we really need to mix it up
Yes.
these days. Things are so
Karen
heavy.
and I had but of course it was one of those times when my connection wasn't working. Karen and I had a name that tune contest or whatever. We did on a show. They had us on as to naming show. I think songs from the 70s or
Songs
something.
from the 70s, yes.
Yeah,
Oh my.
she's good. She's good. Robin Lee wants to know, explain chelation. Robin, it's actually spelled CHELATION. How would you explain chelation?
Chelation is using chemicals, and the one that would be used, and please don't ever use it without knowing what you're doing, is alpha lipoic acid, is what is used with Dr. Andrew Cutler's methods. And you start with very, very small measured doses of alpha lipoic acid, and what it does is it lifts the mercury or the metals and moves them out of your body. But you have to take it every 3 hours for a certain amount of time, so that the mercury has time to filter through your liver and kidneys and come out of your body. So you very slowly and carefully use a very measured dose of a chelating agent to pull the metals out through your kidneys and through your urine and feces. But you really have to know what you're doing to do it. Some people will suggest things like herbs and things, but that's that you can really sabotage yourself doing it improperly. But if you follow Dr. Cutler's methods, and like I said, there are a lot of autism parents that do this and that are well versed in it. And then also people like me who are older, and I thought, what can I do to be more healthy? Oh, I'll get my mercury fillings removed. Well, that turned into an absolute disaster.
So
It
just
was
unleashed it all, right?
oh, it was awful. I was suicidal 2 days later.
Oh,
And I'm sitting
yeah.
on my front porch thinking, what is wrong? What did I do? I thought, oh, I had these mercury fillings removed 2 days ago. So I thought, okay, I have to look at the symptoms of mercury poisoning. And then I eventually found Andrew Cutler, and I brought myself back through that and diet and things. But it's a rough journey. And so a lot of the symptoms of metal poisoning are mood swings, anxiety attacks, heart palpitations. So I think there are a lot of people that are metal toxic that have no idea that that's part of their problem. So that's what chelation is. Yes, I have guest hosted David Knight show a couple times, and I do
Yes,
hang out
and
in the chat
NMQ
room there.
recognizes you from that, so that's very cool. That's good advice for people. There's so many. I've had panic attacks in the past, and it's just there's so much stress in life, and the world is, our modern society is so stressed. With 70-some% of the people living paycheck to paycheck, and
Mhm.
70% not having $500 in the bank in savings. I mean, that's an incredible statistic, and not to mention now what is it? 1 in 30 or something. I don't know what the autism thing is now, but of children. But see, it's a pretty good chance now that you're, fairly decent chance that you're gonna have a child that is going to be on the spectrum. And then once you get all those vaccines, and I'm going to have to take this down from YouTube right after, because way too much vaccine talk. YouTube will suspend my channel, so I'll put it on my Rumble channel. You definitely will.
Oh God.
But it's a tough time out there. So it's hard to.
Well, I mean, I don't think that we've had so many trusted resources so willing to lie.
Yeah.
Just the media being the way it is. Like you mentioned, being, get kicked off YouTube. You got kicked off YouTube during COVID if you said the truth.
Yeah. And they may have loosened up, but I'm not willing to chance it, because this is where I get most of my stream when is on YouTube. And so I need it for that, but then I have to take it down real quick, because their algorithms come sometimes and catch it, and they just suspend your channel for at best a couple weeks, and then I can't stream with it. So I just, to do what I do that. So you guys find me over on Rumble. I leave the links out there, and
Look at this.
subscribe to me there, please.
Oh.
I'm trying to go there anyhow, but
Somebody just said, I can't see the name. Ray, bees can't find their way home anymore because they have Alzheimer's from all the nanoparticles of aluminum raining down on them every day. So I have a very soft spot for bees. They're kind of like opossums for me. And to me, bees are a lot like frogs. When things start going wrong with them, there's something really wrong.
yeah, they're
with the
both.
environment.
You don't see many frogs, and you don't see many bees, and lightning bugs. Where are the lightning bugs?
I went to the Grand Canyon, and back when the Brady's were there.
Yeah.
They were all over the place. It was like a light show. It was so enchanting and magical. And I went back, and this was a good 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago. And I didn't see a single one.
Wow.
If you think about when we used to drive as kids, I live in California, in Central California, and I live near Fresno, actually. And we would drive over to the coast near Santa Cruz to visit my grandma for every holiday. And our front bumper and the grill would just be, and the windshield just covered with gnats and moths and grasshoppers.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't
I haven't
happen
seen a
at all
grasshopper in a long
anymore.
time either. No. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really scary. The silent springs that Rachel Carson wrote about, it's pretty silent out there. It's scary.
No, it is. That's I don't know that
Yeah,
that.
like I don't even hear coyotes. Of course, that's just because we've taken over their land. But
Well,
it's
I
sad.
live,
I mean,
you
just
know.
being out here.
Well, we back to a lot of woods. We're really lucky. There's not many subdivisions like this anymore, and so we get deer coming in our yard all the time. You know, we had a baby deer on the porch when my daughter was little. She recorded it. Was I mean, it had all the gunk on it and everything, and it, you know, it couldn't. I said, "Don't touch it." It
Oh
kept banging, and he
no!
didn't know what to do. So I don't. I hope it was okay when it got away, but I didn't want to touch it or anything, and so who knows what happened there? But that's the kind of name I've seen owls and things like that that I never saw when I was a kid. But you don't hardly ever see frogs, hardly see bees,
Mhm.
and lightning bugs. It's not there. Summer, you go outside at night and you're having a cookout or something. Lightning bugs are everywhere. Not now. I don't know what happened to them.
Well, DDT. I mean,
Yeah.
we've gotten rid of a lot of things to our insecticides, but also we've damaged the life cycle.
Mhm.
Um,
And
I hope it's not electable.
there's a bill that I believe it's just about to be signed or was just signed that gives the pesticide companies the same immunity that the vaccine companies
Oh
Oh,
have.
God.
It's
for-
just now going through, just in the last few days.
Hmm.
It's so terrible. It's so bad.
My
Five pillars.
we all stop.
We're all just
What?
No,
What were you going to
okay.
say?
One of the movies I did with my kids, I teach a movie making class for children. They come up with most of the concepts. I write the script, but they come up with the concepts. And so this was a futuristic game show, and it was sponsored by that fabulous new snack, glyphosatos. I love my kids. Like,
that's
I
a good
came up
one.
with the slogan, tastes like potatoes, but different.
So does everybody that enrolls in your acting class, do they all know that you were on the Brady Bunch?
Most of them don't.
Don't.
They might watch it once. It's kind of sad to me because I think they should watch it because I think it's really
Yeah.
good for kids. But they'll watch it once just so that they can tease me about it. But they're really not familiar with it. It's their parents that are. And I say to their parents, why don't you make them watch the show? It'll really help. It will help you with parenting. There's good lessons there.
Well, some kids will watch the old shows. One of mine would, and the other one wouldn't. They'll watch old
Really.
shows. No, yeah, and some aren't interested. And oh, that's too corny, especially if it's in black and white. Brady Bunch wasn't, but like I love Andy Griffith. So it's well, that's in
I love
black and white.
Lucy.
Yeah.
My daughter's in her early 30s. You know what she loved? She loved Golden Girls.
Oh,
That made, a lot of young people today are loving Golden Girls. They're printing up T-shirts for Golden Girls. It's very popular.
yeah.
And she and her friends, she just turned 33. They're totally into the Rumors era Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, interesting.
And
Yeah.
Silver Spring and Springs, and
Well, they
it's
don't have any good music today. They have to listen to that music. What
it's
music is
just
there? There's no rock and roll.
they think I was I don't know what they thought I was, but that they've got this lease on the cool stuff, but they have no idea that what they're loving is what we loved
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
30 years,
It's
60, whatever years ago, a long time ago. So it's interesting how things go around like that.
Yeah, it's very sad. There's no rock and I don't know. There is no. I mean, if you watch the Grammys now, they're never any. I mean, maybe if they find somebody really old, they'll have them on there. But there are no rock acts. It's all rap and kind of R&B and American Idol stuff.
There are no bands.
No, there's no rock and roll.
No bands. You don't go to a concert and come back wearing the shirt saying, "This is who I am."
Yeah.
Tell me your best concerts ever, Cindy.
Cindy.
I'm sorry, Susan. I called you Cindy.
You're lucky I can barely understand you.
I'm so sorry. Your best concert
my
experiences
first real-
ever.
Led Zeppelin, 1977, the last time they were at the Forum. There was it was Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was a good show. I saw Queen. I saw some great bands right back then in the day.
Who do you wish you had
Gosh,
seen?
I wish I'd seen the Ramones.
I did.
I wish I had seen the Who. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I'd seen the Who. I'd love to see them.
Yeah, I wanted to
I
see.
mean, it used to be you could get scalper tickets for twice the price, which meant $40. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, now it's like thousands of dollars if I want to go see the Who.
Mhm.
Well,
Don't do
they
that
played.
much. I think I'd rather pay
We saw
mortgage.
Roger Daltrey, I think last year by himself, but it was disappointing because he started out saying, you know, people like me to play Who songs, and I'm just going to play a few of them. So, of course, what else would they want you to play? But so he's one of those types that only played a few Who songs. I was disappointed in that, and but yeah, we still go to a lot of concerts, and my wife goes to more than I do, but we've seen, and I saw 3 of the Beatles. I didn't see my favorite. I never saw John Lennon because he didn't tour, you know, at that time at all.
No.
So he wasn't touring. So I
No.
regret that. But other than that, I saw them all. And I'm not a big McCartney fan, but we saw him probably about 2012, 2011. He played RFK Stadium here, and he couldn't sell out.
Wow.
So I
Oh,
don't know
really?
why, but so they were giving away free tickets, and my wife got like 12 free tickets from the grocery store. So we invited a
Oh
bunch of
my.
people, and it was a great concert though. You know, he played, you know, all the Beatles stuff and everything. He was in his 60s then, and he played, you know, nonstop for a couple hours. So I'd say give him credit. You know, I always loved Lennon, but that was one of the best concerts I ever saw.
Wow, that's great. I'd have to say I don't think I kind of think he should hang it up when it comes to singing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I saw
I think
someone
he's still
say
a great
that the other
musician, a
day.
great performer.
It's amazing they're still doing, and Mick Jagger is still. I mean, got to see the Rolling Stones back in
Okay. I saw the
'75, I think.
Stones.
Hmm?
I saw the Stones the day that Trump was shot.
Oh,
And I
wow.
Oh,
could not believe. I would have sworn that Jagger was 19 years old.
yeah,
Like,
he is
what is
amazing.
he doing?
Well,
And
he's
he's
probably
filthy
full of
rich.
adrenochrome or something.
I
He's
want
got
to
some.
think my rockers won't do that. That's just for politicians.
Yeah, well,
They were all wonderful, the Stones, but
he's got
Mick
some.
was just bopping
Yeah,
around. Oh
he
God!
still does it. Yeah, that
Wow.
was a great. When I
Yeah.
saw that concert in '75, and people don't realize how different concerts used to be. I know you know, both of you know, it was just a huge, one big smoke-filled arena, and you got a contact high as soon as you walked in, and there were so many drugs going up and down the rows, and at the Rolling Stones concert, it was ridiculous. Everybody was passing things up and down. It's like, but it was great, you know.
I
Obviously,
learned my lesson though. I smoked a bad joint at an Oingo Boingo show. Somebody passed along, okay, and it was I think it was dust or something. I could not handle it. But yeah,
yeah,
there are a lot of drugs in it. And remember, you go to school and your ears would ring the
yeah,
whole
but you know
day,
that's not the
or
case
maybe
with
2 days.
that doesn't happen at concerts now.
Mm-mm.
My ears never ring after the concerts we've seen in recent years, and I don't. It sounds loud. I don't know, but yeah, back then that used to be the most annoying thing that you couldn't have, and that's why so many of them went deaf. I think a bunch of them. Imagine what they went through
Oh
because they
yeah,
were playing. But I don't know what they must have done something differently in recent years because you don't get that after effect in your
yeah.
ears. Isn't that odd? It's the same music.
I
That
think a
is
lot
weird
of us
because the Stones are certainly loud, huh?
I think a lot
Yeah,
of
my
us
ears
have
didn't ring after.
low key tinnitus anyway. Most of it, a lot of us do now anyway. So we don't even notice it. I don't. It's just a thought.
Well, it's possible, I guess. I don't know. A lot of our hearing, I guess, have already been damaged, but listening to too much loud rock and roll, you
Yeah.
know, it's-
Well, I'm just glad I lived when I did. I mean, I'm not thrilled about being the age that I am, but I'm glad
it's
to have had the past that I've had. And even like in Hollywood, I mean, being as young as I was, I got to meet a lot of the old guard. I was hanging out with the Rat Pack. We're in the adjacent room. We were backstage at Las Vegas, and Sonny and Cher were there, and Flip Wilson and Rodney Dangerfield and
really
Don Rickles, and then Dean and Frank and Sammy came in to say hi, and then went back to their pool.
How old were you then?
About 10, 9,
Okay,
10.
okay,
Who was your favorite, Dean, Frank, or Sammy?
Boy, I can't understand that one bit. I wish you guys could hear what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Who was your
I
favorite,
can't make out what you just said.
Dean, Frank, or Sammy?
Can you hear that? Who was your favorite member of the Rat Pack?
I can hear it. I just can't make it out.
Okay.
It's like it's almost like a keyboard going up and down.
Oh, okay.
And very metallic. And now that was clear as a bell. Oh, okay. It's weird.
I said, who was your
Hopefully my
favorite, Dean,
computer-
Frank, or Sammy? Who was your favorite member of the Rat Pack? That's okay.
Oh, Dean. Well, no, at
Mine
the time
too.
I thought Dean was I wasn't into
Dean
him.
was my
I
favorite.
think I liked Frank better. Now it's Dean all the way.
Me too.
Dean-
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was
And I
cool.
like Sammy. I met him when he was doing Love American Style because he was like kind of my height. I was like, oh, he's so little. He's a grown up. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, Dean was
Very
super cool.
nice. I mean, all of these people were super nice. You know, none of the. I was thinking, think about like the evil, and I could believe that some of the stars today do have to go through some satanic ritual, but back then, I mean, you'd meet big people, and they were just as lovely as they could be. Of course, it helps to be a kid. Everybody's nice.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty. So you never met any really mean or stuck up celebrities, huh?
I'm sure if I dug back into the caverns of my mind, there might have been a couple that were less than kind, but no, people were very nice. Particularly that memory I have of being backstage in Las Vegas with all these people. We were such a novelty. You know, here we were on a hit TV show, and we were all children, and we were doing a musical number. So I think there was almost like a little bit of respect, like, well, good for you, kids. Okay, I'll be here. I'll be rooting for you. You really, there's no skin off their nose. There was no competition with children.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I'm on your side. So they're very nice.
Oh, that's cool. We've only got about 5 minutes left. What did you want to talk about, Susan, that we haven't talked about? Anything you want to talk about special?
Well, no, all I could do is open up another can of worms, which would just send them wriggling. Huh?
Sure, open up another can of worms. That's fine.
Okay. Nobody should ever be sworn into our government, any job in our government, on the Quran.
Okay.
Leave religion out of it. Swear people in on a copy of the Constitution.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Who was sworn in on the Quran? What's her name?
Montgomery.
Who? Oh, was he? Okay. Was he nobody in the squad was?
But Keith Ellison was too, years ago.
Who was?
Keith Ellison, who
was
now is he's the AG of Minnesota now, but he was sworn into Congress, I believe, and used Thomas Jefferson's Quran. And I know you're a history buff.
Yeah.
Imagine what Thomas Jefferson would think of that. because he
Interesting.
led us into our first foreign war, which was against Islamic pirates.
The Somali
And
pirates, right?
well, not some, they were Tripoli, mostly from
Or were they
Tripoli,
triple? Okay,
the
okay.
Barbary coast.
Yeah.
And now we just say, okay, we just give up.
Yeah, well, it's pretty amazing that it's in we've let this we kind of created this situation with this
Totally
unfettered
created it.
immigration, and
Yeah.
that's eventually it's going to reach a point where people that are not like the traditional Americans are going to get in power, and now you're seeing it. I want to
Well,
see what they,
I mean, we can watch it happening. It's happened in England. And
yeah,
I don't know that England can be saved at this point.
doesn't
But
seem like
I
it.
mean, and it's all very intentional. When your government is favoring the migrants over the indigenous people, this is a plan, and I believe it's being run by the UN, and it's intentional. There is a plot to destroy Western civilization, and I think it's really obvious that it's happening. But I still
Absolutely.
sound crazy when I say it.
You're right up my alley. There's plots everywhere. Everything's, people tell me you think
Conspiracy,
everything's a
yes.
conspiracy. I said, yes, I do, because we're being run by conspirators.
Yeah.
This is how they do business.
Well, everything bad starts as
Yeah.
a conspiracy.
Mhm.
You think they don't conspire? I
And
mean,
every conspiracy starts as a theory.
Well, we
yes,
know where that term came from, right?
yes, comes from the 1967
Yeah.
memo of the CIA. Countering criticism of the Warren
Really?
Report. Oh yeah, that's where they started talking about conspiracy
Oh.
theories. Yeah, 19. If you read that
Oh, really? Oh
1967
my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes.
countering criticism of the Warren Report, it talks like it's basically a manual for how the press has treated conspiracy theorists ever since then. I mean, it tells them it talks about we'll have friendly assets in the media, which are Operation Mockingbird, and one of the best things I loved about the early days of the Trump 2.0 was Doge. I love Doge, and the revelations that came out. The most, I think, under-recognized revelation from USAID was that 6,000 journalists around the world were on the payroll. So huge extension of Operation Mockingbird. So it's more alive and well than it ever was in the day. So that's why when we're looking at these people, I mean, we're paying them. And other countries too. Who knows how many journalists from
Absolutely.
other country that are on the U.S. payroll?
And then you throw in some AI for a little reality mush and mash mixing bowl, and AI and Operation Mockingbird, and we're in for a wild ride.
Yeah, you could. Did you see that? Did you see that AI is the best one I've ever seen? That they did about all the dead rock stars coming up. Did you see it very recently? It's so realistic. John
I
Lennon,
saw
Elvis,
one.
they
Yeah.
had them all meeting some guy. I don't know, but I mean, they look so real.
I try to
They're all
not watch it. I'm really trying not to take it in as much as possible. I'm
because
trying to
it's
stay
so
as
scary.
real as I can.
Because imagine what they can do with that. They can, if they can do, they could frame anybody for
You know,
anything. You know?
but the thing is, still likeness, all the laws surrounding likeness should still be applied and still be active.
Absolutely.
This should not be, yeah, it should not be open season. And I did on my last production, my last kid movie, because look, the kids are going to be able to do more than I can do. So I did use some AI, but every time I generated one of the kids, I didn't have to, but I did get their permission, and I had them look at it. But oh my, I was like a kid in a candy store. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's tempting, and
I mean,
it's
I'm
so.
dancing with the devil, and he's a good dancer.
Oh yeah, they had.
Well
I
said.
remember
Well said.
this was a couple years ago. I remember seeing. I didn't have it on. I would never have one of these stupid talk shows on, but somebody in the house had Jimmy Kimmel on at night, and I walked by and I saw Trump making a speech, and he was talking about how he he's been committing crimes. All these crimes he's committed. He apologizes for it. And how Jimmy Kimmel's his favorite show. And it looked and sounded just like him. The lips were synchronized, and that was a couple years ago. It's gotten better. They can anybody they want for anything. And how are you going to prove? And if you watched, I wrote about it. We almost out of time, but one of my Substacks, I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. South Park, which I used to love. This season, they just been doing nothing but attacking Trump. It's just a real sophomoric level.
Oh, yeah.
Jokes about his constantly showing his little penis and all the stuff that they, sixth grade stuff. They had an AI of him walking through the desert. It looked just like a real Donald Trump. It wasn't cartoonish. And they had him take all his clothes off, and they kind of close up of his so-called micro penis. This was on a cartoon. I've never seen anything and he never said a word about it. He's so sensitive, and that would have driven me crazy. South Park, by the way, got over $1 billion. The two right, $1 billion from Paramount before this season.
Yes.
And it shows. So it's a shame because they did a lot of good work.
Yes, it does. And I'll testify Paramount is an evil empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're owned by CBS now.
Well, we're just about out of time. Karen, give out any links or anything you want to promote?
No, I'm just on like Knights of the Storm on Rumble, 2 p.m. Eastern. And it was so wonderful to meet you, Susan. I had a great time chatting with you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm gonna watch you.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. It was wonderful to meet you. I wish I could have understood you better. I hate if I was rude. Please forgive me.
No, not at all.
Because I know it's jumping on
top of people. We're going to work on your connection the next time we'll test your connection the next time you come on before Susan. But you're always great. It's always a pleasure.
I'll do it with my favorite guest. Computer.
Give out anything you want to promote, anything you want to say to close, any links or anything.
I have nothing to promote. Not now. Not yet.
Oh, the great Susan Olson. Thanks so much. Karen Carpenter, thank you. Susan Olson, it's always a pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Happy New Year to everybody. So we'll see you next week.
All
same
right.
time.
Same to everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Take care. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to I Protest.
Right.